Outside of Parker Industries, one of the FBI agents meets with Lee Price. They chose this location because they knew Venom wouldn't dare reveal himself on Spider-Man's front door. The agent also makes it clear they know plenty about the symbiote and how to defeat it. The man goes on to say he wants to know the identity of Spider-Man, figuring that the alien would know who he is. Venom isn't actually sure about the superhero's identity, but the question confuses Lee regardless. After all, Spider-Man is supposed to be one of the good guys. The agent explains that Spider-Man is intricately tied to the organized crime business in New York City, but never works directly with the authorities. If they knew who he was, they'd have some leverage against him and could get some information out of the hero. The agent asked him to think on this, saying they'd be happy to leave Lee alone if he gave them Spider-Man's name. But Lee is wary of the whole thing. He knows they're after something else, and this is just Price's chance to get them off his case and onto bigger fish. But that's okay. He can use this. They're scared, and the more they ask of Lee, the more they will come to rely on him. And then, the FBI will belong to Lee and Venom. Not long after this, Black Cat calls Lee in. He says he is surprised by this, thinking after all the crazy stuff that went down, he'd never expected to hear from her again. But the Black Cat sees right through this comment. She says the job will be easy anyway, so there shouldn't be any ugly business like last time. The cat needs Lee to scare off a Daily Bugle reporter who has been poking around her crime business. It's a simple job, but even then they're going to send in an extra person to make sure things don't get out of hand again. Lee says that he works best alone, but if he wants to work with Cat, he has no choice in this. He will comply. Adam steers the cat into sending Gargan along, which Venom says is bad news. The alien knows Gargan quite well, and doesn't trust him one bit. Lee doesn't like any of this either. It's obvious what's going down. They're being outmaneuvered. Lee is thrown off when he finds Mac waiting for him in full Scorpion gear, but the villain explains they're supposed to be looking scary here. Breaking into the reporter's apartment, the Scorpion attacks the man. Lee points out they aren't supposed to kill anyone, but the Scorpion reveals he's just gonna kill Lee and make it look like he and the reporter did each other in. Mac grabs Lee, so Price orders Venom to fake their own death. When Gargan leaves, they'll have to think of something. It works at first, but when Mac moves to finish off the reporter, the symbiote has had enough. It surges forth with a simple demand. No more killing! Mac is shocked to see his old partner, and the two begin a savage fight. As it moves to the next apartment, the tenants begin filming them. Everyone in the world is gonna see this. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of Venom number 4. So there's a bit of an update regarding this series. We now know in an upcoming issue, Venom number 150, 150 being the total number of Venom comics across all volumes, I guess, Eddie Brock will be returning as the host. So this series becomes a bit of a transition for the Venom character, moving him away from Flash Thompson, who I still have no idea what exactly is going on with, by the way, and Lee Price is just sort of this middleman. Like the series overall, I find this news kind of good and bad. It's bad in that it does kind of make all this content completely pointless, and is a sign Marvel has double-dipped, so to speak. They put a lot of hype into issue 1 of this series and pulled some shady stuff involving the retailers and alternate covers, and now they're going for another big milestone only a handful of months later with 150. Again, probably with a mountain of hype and alternate covers. So I'm a bit divided on this issue. There's parts that don't work for me, but other parts I find cool and utterly fascinating. The FBI's view of Spider-Man in the modern day is something new and kind of interesting. While this might be the first series that actually shows a Black Cat making for a decent crime boss, she's not annoying here, something I don't think any writer has achieved since they made the questionable decision to take her character into the new direction of being this weird mob boss thing. She's smart, and you can kind of see how she's gained power, but also why she surrounds herself with the people she does. Adams and Gargan both show value and are quite useful to her. But then Venom's character starts talking and it suddenly feels really off. The alien is very childish, more than I feel it's ever been, and I just don't feel it's in line with the villain who bonded with Eddie Brock and Matt Gargan, nor the eventual hero it became with Flash Thompson. I feel more confused by Venom now than I felt bad for it in the earlier issues. The alien has shown plenty of will and the ability to break from its host before. I mean, in the early issues it could be explained away by him being weak, but now he really has no reason to stick around, other than, I guess, the influence of the host. At least if that's true, if they're going for that kind of idea, that's sort of interesting, because Venom always does change with each of his hosts a little bit. I kinda like that. For those wondering why Venom genuinely doesn't know who Spider-Man is, by the way, it's due to the fact of one more day or brand new day or whatever's going on. The magic erased this information from Venom's memory. In fact, unless I'm mistaken, I think Flash never even found out who Spider-Man really is, for that very reason. So what are we to make of all of this? Well, if you can't tell, this issue and the series as a whole presents a lot of pros and cons. I can tell you I liked it more the second time I read it for this video, which is a good sign, and I still kind of think it's worth reading. But as I think about it, that more positive opinion does wear down a little bit. It's not the greatest comic out there, but you could do worse, and if you're a Venom fan, well, this comic certainly isn't bad by any measure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, check out our Patreon page. Your support helps us make more content, and you can have a say in the comics we review. Finally, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.